All right. Back for another episode of Pounded Live, guys. Hope everyone's doing all right. Everyone's doing good. We are going to talk about some NFL today. I'm super excited. I know it's a little early, but it's never too early to talk about NFL. So, starting today, we're going to start talking about one division each day, about the total wins, about the teams who could possibly make the playoffs, who can't make the playoffs, what is going to what's going to go on this season in this division. So, let's start off. First, we're going to go with the AFC North, guys. I picked the AFC North today. I'm excited about the AFC North because there's so much good things happening in this division that it's up for grabs, really. I mean, it used to be dominated by the Steelers, then it was taken over by the Ravens, and now are the Browns the new? Is the torch been passed over to the Browns? Has it happened? In my eyes, it's still the Browns' division to lose, guys. I like this team. I love their defense. I love how they play. But when it comes to playoff time, they can't get over the hump. And it's hard to get over the hump when you're facing Patrick Mahomes every year to get to the Super Bowl. So the over-under for the Ravens is 11.5. And let's first start off with, it's a 17-week play season. So, was it 17 or 18? Whatever, there's an extra week, regardless. So 11.5 total wins by the Ravens, guys. That is a high number, but it's definitely a number that they can reach. So I'm popping up the NFL schedule for this team right now, and I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys like about the Ravens this year? Because this team is going to be tough to beat regardless. They're going to be, it could be a Chiefs Ravens AFC championship. Very much can be. The Ravens did lose, I know, a couple players, but one thing I know about the Ravens, they always stack back up. Schedule. All right. That's week one. Also, week one, they are playing Monday night versus the Raiders. That's going to be a hell of a game right out of the gate. Great game. It's in Las Vegas. That's going to be a low spread game. It's going to be a tight game throughout for sure. Trying to get the damn schedule up for this team. Okay, teams. All right, here we go. Of course, I pass it. And there we go. All right. Beautiful sight. So we know they're playing the Steelers tonight twice. We know they're playing the Browns twice. And we know they're playing the Bengals twice. I think they sweep the Bengals. Those two teams always play tough. And I know when it's in Cincinnati, for some reason in Cincinnati, Cincinnati's always covers. I've been burned way too many times, and I remember that like there's no tomorrow. Cincinnati always covers when they play Baltimore in Cincinnati. When they play the Steelers, man, they're going backwards, guys. I know there's a lot of Steelers fans out there. They're going backwards. I think it's time to move on from Big Ben, but they need to get a quarterback first. They don't have anybody on the roster that can immediately just take over the team and start winning. They're going to need the draft. It's going to be a long season for them. It's going to probably be Ben's last season, but I just don't see much out of the Steelers. I think they're overrated, and they're not getting any better. They're just stagnant. They're staying the same. There's nothing special about them. Yes, they're a very good team. I'm not going to take anything away from them. Very good team, but I don't think they have the potential to go anywhere in the playoffs, especially. They can't compete. I think the Ravens can beat them. I think the Chiefs can beat them. Hell, I think the Browns can beat them, which we saw last year, 100%. Even this year, I like the Browns over them. But Ravens 11.5 total wins this season. So, okay, got they play preseason. Who gives a shit about preseason? They got the Raiders week 1. Do we like the Raiders? Do we like the Ravens to beat the Raiders in week 1? I don't know. I think the Vegas takes that one personally. And then week 2, just by looking at it, I'm not saying it, I'm just by looking at it. Chiefs week 2. Well, I'm going with the Chiefs. No way I can go against the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Chiefs, in my opinion, are the one team that's going to be really, really tough to beat. You got the Lions. That's an easy win. Lions are a joke, even in Detroit. They go to Mile High. So let's just say we're looking at 1-2 going into week 4. Broncos, can they beat the Broncos? Ravens, yes. I say they could beat the Broncos. That'll put them at 200 or 500. Then they go to the Colts. Well, I don't know what to expect out of the Colts. I don't know how Carson Wentz is going to be. I do know that they are going to be – Colts are going to be a better team. They're going to be a team to beat. They're going to be a very good team. I think Wentz is a perfect spot for him, especially his team. I think this is a good spot. I think he will be successful in Indianapolis. But in Baltimore, I like Baltimore to win this game. So 3-2 Chargers. That's going to be a great game. There's so many good teams, so many great games. I'm already excited. Chargers, Bengals, Vikings, Dolphins, Browns, Packers. Packers, is Aaron Rodgers coming back? I don't think so. Bengals, Rams, Steelers. Just by jumping through this real quick, this is either going to be 11 wins or 12-win season. I think they definitely beat the Dolphins in Miami. I am not sold on the Dolphins. They definitely beat the Vikings. They definitely beat the Bengals at least once. Chargers, that's going to be a great game. But I think they can beat that defense. I say Ravens end with exactly 12 wins. That's my prediction. 12 wins for the Ravens. So over the total of 11.5. So let's go to the next one. Let's go with the Bengals. Bengals. Oof. Did they get an offensive line for this kid? I mean, jeez, this kid got beat up. The quarterback for the Bengals. He got beat up last year. No offensive line. It reminded me of that game, that movie, The Longest Yard, when Adam Sandler turned his back on his team, and then the offensive line just let the defense in and just pile drived them. That's what it reminds me of last year. 6.5. I mean, by going through it, this is going to be another close one. I think the Bengals go over 7.5, though. As long as their quarterback can stay healthy, I really do feel they can be a contender, definitely early in the season. But I don't think they're going to win that much, but I think they're going to be in the games. They're not going to get blown out. Don't think the Bengals are going to get blown out at all. I'm excited to see what the Bengals can do this year. So regular season to play off the Vikings in Cleveland, I like Cleveland to beat the Vikings at home. Week 1, I love it. Then they go to Chicago, which I don't know. I don't know what to expect about that in Bears. I'm a Bears fan. And if Andy Dalton is quarterback, I will fade Andy Dalton every day. If he couldn't win in Dallas with that stacked offense, there's no way he's going to win in Chicago with, in my opinion, a mediocre set of offensive receivers. They're a bunch of speedy, young, nothing special receivers. That's the biggest key. They don't get open that much. Everyone talks about how good the receivers are. They're really average at best. Now at Dallas, they have some very good receivers. So if Andy Dalton couldn't even beat the Giants for the division in the last week, I had the Cowboys that game. Andy Dalton drove down the field and then fumbled it like a freaking idiot he is. So yeah, I don't know what to expect out of the Bears. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. It's really hard to win in Chicago. It depends who's quarterback. If Andy Dalton's quarterback, I'll take the Bengals. If it's Justin Fields, I'll take the Bears. Steelers, In Pittsburgh, I think the Steelers take in Pittsburgh. Jaguars, Bengals. Packers, Bengals. Detroit, Bengals. Detroit's going to have like a 2-win season this year. Ravens, Ravens will win that. Jets still suck. Browns, Raiders, Steelers, Chargers, Niners, Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, Browns. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this number is going to land on 6. It might just land on 6. I don't see many games that the Bengals could truly win. So let me see. Let me really see. Vikings, that's 1-0. Bears, I think Andy Dalton will be quarterback there. I'll take, let's just say Bengals week 2. Lose week 3, win week 4, so it's 3 wins. Win week 5 is 4 wins. Win week 6, 5 wins. Lose week 7, lose week 8, lose week 9, lose week 11, lose week 12. Chargers, Niners, Broncos. This is going to be close. If they can win, if I'm predicting this correctly, 5 wins in the first 7 weeks, they're going to hit the over the total. If everything can go well for the Bengals, but boy, the odds makers have this spot on, guys, spot on. But after week 10, the only game that they possibly can win is at home versus Pittsburgh, at home versus the Chargers, at home versus the Niners. I think they lose week 15 to the Broncos, lose at home versus the Ravens, definitely lose to the Chiefs, and week 18 they play the Browns. Who knows if that's a game that will mean something. So I'm gonna go with over 6.5. I think this lands on 7 or 8, but it all depends on how they start the season. I'm gonna take this over 6.5 on the Bengals. Steelers. Now let's go to the Steelers. They're set at 8.5. I don't even have to look at the schedule because I looked at the Bengals and I looked at the Ravens and I saw the Steelers pretty much. I like under 8.5. I think this lands on 7 or 8. I don't think they go over 8 wins this season for sure. This is going to be a very disappointing season. Big Ben might just get hurt again. There's no quarterback to help them in their depth chart. Defense is very good, but offense is going to be it's going to be a tough season offensively again for the Steelers. Even when they won last year, they went on a roll. But if you saw, they didn't win games easily. It was very tough for them to win games. So I'll take the under total wins for the Steelers. And then lastly, we got the Browns. Browns set at 10.5. That's another tough number. Now, honestly, I hate judging the Browns right now because the season hasn't even started. I don't know what to expect on the Browns. I hate to judge them from last season because it could be unpredictable. I don't know if the defense is going to get better. Mayfield needs protection. That's one thing I need, or one thing he needs. If Mayfield can get protection, I know one thing about the Browns. When Mayfield had that extra couple seconds, I think it was like 2 or 3 seconds in the pocket, he was electric. He was electric. This guy, Baker Mayfield, gets way too much shit for what he does. He's actually a lot better quarterback than he gets. He just has no offensive line for protection, guys. No protection. Bet the Browns' confidence when they're in Cleveland. They got the running game, man. As long as they got the running game, that's huge. They got the running game going. Nick Chubb is a stud. He is an absolute stud. So when you got him going, Mayfield with the play action, you've got some high-end receivers. There's no excuse why the Browns don't win this division. They're going to compete with the Ravens. Now, remember the Ravens lost some key players on defense in the cornerback section. So it all depends on who they replaced them. I don't know personally offhand who filled in the spots. I do know there's a couple new guys on that secondary. But the Browns are going to be a tough team. 10.5. If Mayfield can get protection, I like the over 10.5 wins. which will set up perfect for the Steelers under 10.5. And the Bengals around that number. So everything in the division-wise, it's going to be tight between the Browns and the Ravens for the division. Steelers are going to fade. Bengals, their second half of the season, it's going to be rough. But they're going to start off the season hot, is my prediction. So that's what we got out of the AFC North. We got the Ravens at 12 wins exactly. Bengals, 7 wins. So both of them over the total. Steelers, under the total. Browns, over the total. Browns not getting respect. Still, 10.5. I'll take the over. Even though you're going to get plus money on that over as well. So there's my NFL take on the AFC North. So let's go into baseball. Let's go into stuff that means quick money today, guys. So, and by the way, Tigers are up 6-4 in the 7th. I almost took the Rangers today just because I was saying to myself, can the Rangers be that bad? Can they get swept by Detroit? This is like a perfect situation for the Rangers to come back and win. But do I have the balls to put my money on the Rangers on the road, who have scored 3 runs in almost 40 innings? No. I looked at the Tigers info. Too much stats and trends that had Detroit to win today. And they had the perfect pitcher starting. I mean, it was just perfect. And the Rangers, Fultowitz, garbage. There's a reason why the Braves got rid of him. Braves organization is not dumb, guys. They're not dumb. If they had a lot of potential in Fultowitz, then they would have kept him. They would have signed him for a long term. But no, they're not stupid. They know this guy's trash. So the Rangers pick him up just to get through the season. So let's go on to this game. Braves and Phillies leads into it perfect. The Braves, again, injured offense versus the Phillies, who struggled to complete the win in New York, guys. They had, the last 2 games? They should have won versus New York, but they let the Yankees just come back and win the game. No excuses. One reason I hate betting the Phillies, because they always fuck me in the end. But I also don't like touching the Braves on the road. One thing about the Braves, especially with their injured lineup, their run differential from on the road drops dramatically from home to road. So you got Charlie Morton on the road, or Charlie Morton for the Braves today. Solid pitcher. 8-3, 3.69 ERA. He's 3-2 with a 2.83 on the road. And he's 1-0 with a 3.44 in the last 3 starts. Very solid numbers. Very respectable. He's getting into the groove. I know it seems like I touch on this game, Charlie Morton, every time he pitches. But he's just, if you're going to bet the Braves, you bet them in the first 5 innings. You don't bet them in the game because their bullpen is trash. Don't trust the Braves bullpen one bit. Don't trust it. Braves overall are 20-23 on the road. They're not a good road team, guys. Not at all. Phillies are an excellent home team, as well as they should be. 27-17 at home. The Braves are 1-5 in their last 6 meetings in Philly. That's huge. And then you got a pitcher, Matt Moore, pitching for the Phillies. He's 0-1 with a 5.25 ERA. Nobody gives this guy any credit either. I like Matt Moore. I like him. It seems like they win every start. So I looked it up. The team has won his last 4 starts. And he hasn't pitched bad. His numbers are not great, but his numbers are high because when he gives up a couple runs, he doesn't pitch often. So, of course, his ERA is going to be skyrocket. He just came back to the season, a month ago? So his numbers are high because he gives up a few runs in a very short amount of innings. But he's not giving up 5, 6, 7 runs. It might be 1 or 2 innings, or 1 or 2 runs, but it adds up every time he pitches 3, 4 innings. Or if it goes 4 or 5 innings, he might give up 2, 3 runs. So, of course, the numbers are going to go high. But there's nothing where the Phillies can't overcome. He keeps his team in the game. That's important. when he's a starting pitcher. Keep your team in the game. That's what he does. And going into the season, the Phillies focused on their bullpen. They got a lot of key players in their bullpen. When then they got hurt, and their bullpen would turn into trash. Why it turned into trash is because they had to call up guys from AAA who struggled. Now they're starting to get that bullpen healthy again. So now there's no excuse why they shouldn't be winning. That's why it was really frustrating the last two games where they lost in New York. They had the Yankees beat, and yet they let the Yankees get back in the game and they let the Yankees win. My lean today is the Phillies. Everything says the Phillies. The only reason the Braves are favored today is because Charlie Morton's on the road is starting the game. That's it. That's the sole reason why the Braves are favored today. Sole reason is because Charlie Morton is in the game starting. Once Charlie Morton is out of the game, Phillies got this, guys. All Matt Moore has to do is keep his team in the game. And what tells you that the Phillies are not going to score if Charlie Morton? Morton's not immortal. He's going to give up a few runs. So if Moore gives up 2 runs, Morton gives up 2 runs, it's 2-2 going into the 6th inning with a bullpen game. I'll take my chances with the Phillies at home, better offense, healthier team. Take the Phillies with the value money, plus 115. That's my lean on that game, plus 115. So let's go into the last game. And it's also going to be my free play of the day. Rays, Indians. Now, I have been looking at the Rays all season. Rays still one of the best teams in the run line. And the Rays favored minus 140, as well as they should be favored. They're still one of the top teams in the league, believe it or not. Indians, what a disappointment. What a disappointment. But they are who they are. They don't have a good pitching staff whatsoever. Bullpen, starting pitching, not good. Their only good pitcher is Shane Bieber, and he's hurt. You got Luis Patino for the Rays today. He's 1-2 with a 4.87, 20 in the 3rd innings. He doesn't pitch much. His numbers are really high. I'm going to tell you right now, his numbers are really high. But it's because he doesn't pitch much. He's given up a few runs, and his ERA is misleading. 1-1 with a 7.71 ERA. 0-2. I'm sorry, that's on the road. 0-2 with a 7.11 last 3 starts. He hasn't had good starts the past few games. He starts a game, gets to give up a couple runs, they take him out, and it's a bullpen game, and then they can never catch up. That's the type of games that he's been part of. Now you got Cal Quantrill, who's been really good of late. 2-2, 4.05. The team has won his last 2 starts. His last 3 starts, 3 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 1 earned run. He's 1-0 with a 3.86 at home. He's 2-0 with a 3.86 last 3. Very, very good numbers. So if you're looking at this game, automatically you're thinking Indians. The number, starting pitcher, hands down, flat out, think it's a consensus. We all think the Indians starting pitching gets the edge in this one, 100%. The Rays are 5-1 in their last 6 meetings in Cleveland. The Rays own the Indians so far in Cleveland, the last 6 meetings. Rays are 13-3 in their last 16 meetings. 13-3 versus the Indians in their last 16 meetings. Let that sink in. 13-3. That's what, two seasons? That's a lot. And the Indians weren't this bad. This is the worst season in 3 years. So that tells you a lot. The Rays own the Indians. Pitching edge automatically goes to the Indians starting pitching. But I don't think they're going to let Patino in this game that much. He might pitch only 2 innings. And then it's going to be a bullpen game. And I like the Rays, guys. I like the Rays a lot. I cannot put my money on the Indians. Cannot do it. Kel Troncho, he's going to probably pitch really well. It's going to be a tight game. It's not going to be a blowout. Indians might even take the lead just right out of the gate. It might be a 4-2, 3-2 type game going into the 6th inning. I still like the Rays in the later game to win the game. Free play is the Rays money line, minus 140. Take the juice. I love the Rays today. I think the Indians, everything on paper says Indians. I just don't think it shows up in the game. But, I mean, Kevin Cash is not a dumb manager. He knows what's going on. He'll keep Patino in there for a couple innings and then get the helm out and then bring in some more studs. Rays today, they win. Take the minus 140. Let's do this. Tomorrow, we'll talk about another NFL division, go over some more baseball plays, give you some more free plays. If you guys have any questions, comments, what else you want me to talk about, shoot me a comment. We'll do it. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.